like now I share so I'm a near be and be ashe. Midin Eddie AFIA true wa petri and you bring me name.
Obrempong akosi Jaboa.
And I yes some more your best what kind of Jim. Yes, Cassiano, I say every apomudin emo. Emra she bedafie ba sumko ya won mo she apomudin edwumadie so. Ede kokobo Ghana apomudin edwumayefo nyina se won mo modern na won ma timamufo ya eba won mo na so dada beje ayaresa. Won mo nkwa ho ehia wonum na adwuma wo ye no emra ene nhihye ebata ho no mo eni super pepe no mo fa professionalism enye adwuma no se de ebe ya wonu betumi asom temamufo nyina afei adwuma no a wonu mo ye no ebra no esese wonu mo da ne mapapa die ma nkontabuo mapaso eda ne ho adie nipa wode sa asemi etu dwa eye chairman Emma Parliament Health Committee Yera Mark Kurt Nawani na wode etu medical workers here wo Ghana ha nyina anim se wunia wo apomden adwuma ekuonum na fo se adwuma no eboro so wontumi nye na da bia wo beyi wani ayenhwe han amanipa na monsa so afrimu a adwuma no resign fatu oneko na won mo mani abre se won mo di nsi ebe ya adwuma no ebeba abehye wanamu ne ama wode abufuo ekasa eye basumku a wopa won mo so nkoye nhwehwemu emfa cha asami sane wo hu Sano Obes syndrome senseme ba yema engineer ifa so hwere ne nkwa wo mamane ya wode ebetu dwa won masan abo anan akọ emrahye bedwam asum koi na so a won mo de findings ni nyina akoma wonom eno na yewura na warning e kasa no wo kire se sa medical negligence no ekum nipa bebre e wo Ghana hanade ho amane emaye mpo na edoso wo mo ntena se enye nhwe han so ne mafom tantan ye ete sa so esese apomde adwumayefo ebo modern ede ensi ye eye adwuma de som temamufo a won mo nti e na okwaje ntete e wo apomden mu na wonia wo fo se adwuma no so kyen wana sa wo so kyen adwuma no enti wo kwotena ho ade wo pe e na wo beye wo ma enipa enkwa enhia no wani enku wom ho na be wo adwuma sare biara de a wo de to wona wo kwa obi foforo ebeba yenti esede yewura no e kire ne nsem.
We are saying that it is beyond just the facility. It is the individuals. And please, if you are a medical professional and you are tired of the work, probably you have to, you can resign. I'm telling you, Ghana will survive. You have, if you are ready to work, please, there are ethics. If you can't do something, you call your colleague doctor, your senior doctor. And one funny thing about doctors is that the senior doctors is that they are always happy to be called. Once a junior doctor calls a senior doctor, they are ready to run and come and help. It's something that in my 33 years of practice, I realized that whenever you want help from a doctor you call, a colleague doctor calls that person, you run and come and help. This should not have happened. This has nothing to do with no bed syndrome, but that was the name that was given to it. And that was probably the investigation or the referral that was given to the committee. And it has happened at Kaswa, where somebody who has been admitted, he has spent 36 hours there and they are saying no bed. Has he been lying on the floor all that time that there was no bed at the recovery ward? Do you need to do a cesarean section and send the person automatically or compulsorily to a recovery ward.
Mark Kurt Nawani, our chairman, Emma Mrashebe Basum Kwa, one more sharp home day, Ejumadi so, and our taste our dear Nibre any before. Kasa se ye abedia konwa tena so se o meya pom de adwuma efo wo mo ye adwuma no sare biara no ma nipa nkwa eho hia wonom na se ne wo mo so mo nya adwuma ne biem mpo no ogya to hwa ye dan a Ghana ebetena se e wo enkwam na basum ko a enipa miensa ne wo mo ya wote se won koye sa no bear syndrome wo ya enam so e ma cha se mi seti na nanom e won se de ho hwehwemu nipa wodi wo mo nim e Professor Ajimabedu Akosa Ebra one more edit one more report ekoma aba sum koin wo kasa se obesra ban se findings a wo mo dia ba ani nsusuya mpanimfo ede aba se wo mo nyina so ntwe se adwumaifo nyina so no aban fanya adwuma no won hwe se bere ekwa ni mu no wo be hye apomde adwumaifo ama won madi wo mo dwuma se de wo mo mra ene wo mo hyehyeye etie pepepe.
We believe that this was not the first time an event like this has happened. Committee reports were done and the reports collected dust. And we want to ensure that this report does not collect dust, but is acted upon.
It was for us a very sad reflection. You are a professional, you take a Hippocratic oath, you say I, and you mention Ajimabedu Akosa, and you swear to do that. That is not the establishment, that is not the hospital, that is not the facility. It is you, as a qualified practitioner, registered by the Medical and Dental Council. And therefore, you breached your care, your duty of...
Yes, so our NDC, Amanyoku no emu, and day, wonum akpao, Jumadia for Frokra, Eho Antoma. Na Nina, and say Jumadia, wonum ebediano. And say, Wabashe said your beya, obetumi abo abayi. Ninyuma pa ya wo ye no eho dawro na mawia sene Ghana nyina ehunu amammo papa NDC aban etimi ebu na dwumadie no wato ne din setting the record straight na se wono wo beka no kropa se de tie de etuamu eno na wonum ede ebetuja ama Ghana nyina ehunu na dwumadie na se no panimpa ya wono eye deputy national communication officer edema NDC amanyeko no Godwin Akogan wade etuja kire mu se MPP wonum ase dwumadie biase awodie konkonsa entro ene nioma ensem fotade e freno propaganda no eno na wonum eye na de waye nyina wonum ahu wo pese wode gu aban ne ho fin wono de NDC amanyeko no betena se akase aban wei enya aban a wo beka se obia enkanasem wama ne ho so dabi ubetumi aka wonum asem na asem a wo ka no esese eye asem no kore na nya ntro ene enada ya wobetu mfuturo ade agu Ghana fo ani ano nti wode kokobo anam so ede ama NPP amanyuko no se wonhwe won ho yie na ekwan bia wonum ebetwa ntro ade afaso no NDC amanyuko no so ene wonum ede befe so ewo honom se de beya enokore ebetumi adadie ama Ghana fo age enokore ene amamuo papa NDC aban no ebu no edi Godwin.
We are here to affirm a political responsibility to defend truth, protect our democratic gains, and ensure that propaganda does not distort the will of the Ghanaian people. Let me state this clearly from the outset. The new patriotic party has once again activated its well-known machinery of misinformation, half-baked truth, and calculated propaganda. To us, this is not new. It is a deliberate political strategy, one that seeks to exploit silence, manipulate public perception, and rewrite recent history in their favor, after what can be described as a catastrophic record in governance. So somebody may ask why the relaunch. History reminds us, after the first NDC administration under His Excellency Flight Lieutenant General Rawlings of blessed memory, the incoming government of John Adekunbo deliberately distorted the achievement of the NDC through sustained propaganda. It took the bold intervention of the then propaganda secretary and now the indefatigable general secretary of the NDC, Honorable Fifi Fiadi Kweti, to introduce setting the record straight to stop the trend. That initiative was not just political communication, it was a rescue mission for truth. It helped restore public confidence and ultimately
Ora akogan koswa de nsem ne bi eto gya na ochire mu se Ghana fo sesei wonu mani ati eno nti se ya amanyekuo na pese Ghana fo gi wutum na wotimi eto aba edema wo a enye enada ekwan so ena obedada wonum na otwa ntro aye takra wodwom na wotimi akoto aba ediama wo na mum de obeye ne se obeka nokore na Ghana fo na nkasa wotimi ehunu dwumason ne adwuma pa obetimi abo edi ama wonum na wowieye ena wobo Felix Kwachi Ofosu osofo ya wono ene hwe aban enkrato so wobo na woda na se na wobo na baso dwuma pa ya wobo ne titru ene government accountability series ya wode aba na ne wofre aswafo na wabegina so na wakyerɛkyerɛm sɛ de amamuo ne kɔ wonum aso ye dwumadi ahodo a wodie nyina eyade papa ebeboa ma Ghana fo wonum ahu nokre na wonum ede ebu oman no sɛ de bɛyɛ a obia etwa ntoro a wonyinie anoti wotoa so ede abasobode ekoma wo.
In a democracy, elections are not won by silence. They are won by credibility, trust, and constant engagements. The NDC government has, within just 17 months in office, taken decisive steps to stabilize the economy, restore investor confidence, and implement people-centered policies. But governance alone is not enough. Communication is governance. We commend the efforts of the Minister for Government Communication through the Accounting to the People series. However, political misinformation requires a political response. Firm, direct, and unapologetic. That is why setting the record straight is back.
Esianfo a won mo kwaje ntetie ewo agricultural colleges ahodo mu na besi sabre won mo tifia aban emfa won madwuma keka won ho abomu atikuo ne kuo no edi coalition of unemployed agricultural colleges graduates won mo nyina ka bo mu no wa friends am trefo nhye mu se wo ma aban no nafua makomako aduonu baako 21-day ultimatum se aban no amfa won madwuma ene womone ne bechia yam papa obete won agu Ghana montene so obebo koja woti ene wonsa na won mo ye kyerɛkyerɛ de ati aban no se won mo kosuapon akwaje ntetiye na won mo betimi de onim die abeboa agric sector na nso aban emfa won mo adwuma na won mo kyerɛ mu a graduate no enipa apem ene akyire ena won mo tifie sabre ya obi amfi wonum won ma bompanimfo abono na nso obi anya na dwere se wotu anamon afa won mo ho se de be ya obema won mo adwuma ayem na wo se ebra aban no eba no obo wo ma no ho ba bebre wo beduye won mo hu bibia entomade sre no ekọ amamampani John Dramani Mahama Agric Minister Yera Erikopoku Finance Minister Dr. Kasela to force fi se won no nchen ena financial clearance ebefri aba ansa na aban atimi afa won mo adwuma sa daroma won mo nso titifie wo ye Ghana de hye won mo de sika ne ekosuapon a won makwaje ntete agric sector niam ye bisi basa nko betimi de won nim dia beboa enti aban twa nani enhwe won ma nya sa 21 days achi won mo beye ye kire.
Here, thousands of passionate, skilled, and trained graduates in agronomy, veterinary science, agricultural economics, extension, horticulture, and related fields complete their studies, ready to contribute to the national development. Yet, a large number of us remain unemployed or underemployed, unable to apply the knowledge and skills acquired through years of training. Your Excellency, we firmly believe that the competence of agricultural graduates is critical to achieving the goals of initiatives such as Feed Ghana and the broader agricultural transformation agenda. With access to opportunities, we can drive innovation, improve yields, strengthen extension services, support agribusiness development, and mentor the next generation of farmers. We acknowledge the government's introduction of the Feed Ghana program, which sought to engage agricultural graduates through the National Service Scheme. While we initially welcomed this initiative in good faith, considering the country's financial constraints and the IMF arrangements, its implementation has been fraught with significant challenges. And those key challenges include: 1. Non-standard recruitment process. Graduates were posted without the issuance of official NSS PIN codes. 2. Administrative burden. Personnel are required to submit monthly reports physically to Accra, creating a logistical and financial strain. 3. Non-payment of allowances. Personnel have not received allowances after 3 months of service. 4. Limited coverage. Out of a targeted 10,000 graduates, fewer than 3,000 has been engaged. Placement challenges. Several MOFA offices have rejected posted personnel, citing lack of official communication. Delays and errors. Appointment letters for some of us remain delayed, with others containing inaccuracies. Additionally, the reliance on manual process instead of digital systems has increased inefficiencies and risks, particularly with nationwide monthly submissions. In light of these concerns, we respectfully call on His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Honorable Opoku, and the Minister for Finance, Honorable Dr. Kessel Atto-Forson, to urgently grant immediate financial clearance to the recruitment of all qualified agricultural graduates, complete the deployment of the remaining 50% of previous promised officers, transition from temporary voluntary arrangements to permanent employment, address operational insufficiencies with the Feed Ghana program, ensure equity in recruitment as seen in education and health sectors. We wish to state clearly that while we initially supported this voluntary service, arrangement due to economic constraints, we can no longer sustain this model. Agricultural graduates deserve fair and equitable treatment comparable to their counterparts in other sectors such as education and health, where financial clearance has been granted for employment. Our parents and guardians have invested significantly in our education. It is therefore disheartening that agricultural graduates continue to be marginalized despite the critical role we play in the national development. The coalition hereby issues a 21-day ultimatum to the government of Ghana to provide clear, actionable steps towards permanent recruitment. Failure to respond will leave us with no option but to embark on a lawful and peaceful demonstration to press home our grievance.
Akane aban lawyer penyin Justice Godfred Yebu Adame enei wode ensem bi abetuja wono akroya na wasan ejina mu se lawyer edema Buffer Stock CEO ya Hadnan ene ne yere ya wonum ede entansa bi abo wonum se Buffer Stock wonum sika bese 78 million Ghana cedis no ni nyina ayira eye Hadnan wonum na afa sika no wono ene ye lawyer panyina wogina mu etwitwaje wonum na enei ye bebo amane se lawyer yi ede ensem bi etudwa no kire se sei de wahunu wote nkyɛn wahwɛ na wahunu ene se Attorney General ya wote so sei no wode ne tumi eye mensem wode hunahuna nkrofo ene ensem a ennim kura na wakɔgye ede aboso se wopese wodie ɛno nti enya de a ebeboa oman yi enkankɔ ene asenie ene asenibia ho nsem wo my Ghana mu ɛno nti wonhwɛ na wontu anamon papa ye ebeboa wo wie kura na wode etudwa ntere mu se wono na woyɛ aban lawyer panyini no saa time de na wode woni a wonim nyansa na nimdie adɔ wo ntrim na wode wonum eye adwuma ɛno nti enei woni a woyɛ adwuma ɛwɔ honum aban lawyer panyini ne wonum ye adwuma no sɛbi ase wonim die sem no enhyeda ennyina brane saa ɛno nti ɛyade a mpanimfoɔ nhwɛ na wontu ho anamɔmpa sɛ de ɛbɛyɛ a ɛbɛtumi aboa na asɛnnie ɛho nsɛm ɛwɔ magana mu atumi agina brane na justice yeboa Godfred yeboa dame ewie ya ɛna attorney general deputy Dr. Justice Sremsai enso reply no na reply a wode ma no nyina ene sesei de wonum waye bia no Justice Godfred yeboa dame aye bia waye wie wakotena nchen de esefota no se wobetena se nanka Hadnand ene ne yiri watimi atwitwaje wo mu no waje wo mu yie enye kasa ene radio so ne TV so kasa na mom ne nyina aye emra kwan so ene sese wode ensem no eguo na asem a woka se ane wono no de experience for ene ye adwuma no sebi aban lawyer panyini bi ani hono mu a wono ene wo lawyer ahodo a wonum eye adwuma no eno nti saa asem no a wode betu dwa no kra no de edi kan eni kwan se anase enye aban lawyer panyini adwuma eno no se obedi sa adwuma no ebra Justice Dr. Sremsai ede ensem bi etu ensem trofo anim no say eno kire mu fai.
He made some requests, some of which have been granted, others may be granted in the future, and others have been refused. When Hanan was sent to Iyoko, he was supposed to just be interrogated immediately, then he will be discharged. But he fell sick and was taken to the hospital. And when he came back, instead of his lawyers, the former Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, Attorney General, to come so that interrogation would be done, he chose to rather be granting interview in his office and in the media and calling into radio programs to say things that he knows are wrong and are not true. I mean, he said their time they used to assign cases to experienced judges. My duty as an Attorney General is not to assign cases. It is the Chief Justice that assign cases. So if he at this time was playing the role of the Chief Justice and assigning cases to people he considered to be experienced judges, that is problematic. Besides that, all the cases we have assigned, or all the cases that have been assigned, or the judges hearing all these cases, are judges who were in the High Court long before. That should be experienced. You don't come to the High Court unless you are experienced. And they are experienced. As far as I know, those judges are judges. One is even coming from Court of Appeal to hear the matter. So it makes us wonder what it means by experience. Is this something that we don't know about? So for a former Attorney General who is now into private practice, I know he has to earn his fees. Big principles on which lawyers, even private lawyers, earn their fees. Let alone a lawyer who was. You see, instead of him to accompany his clients to do interrogation, through the interrogation, he's sitting on TV, calling to radio programs and talking. But his client will be going for interrogation today. He was discharged yesterday. He'll be going for interrogation today. That is when he will know. If he chooses not to be on radio and follow him, he will definitely know where the fresh evidence. He has no basis to know whether there's fresh evidence or not, because he has not accompanied his client to the office of.
Another thing he says is that he was denied access.
False. Completely false. His client was not well and was taking the clinic yesterday. When they came back, the interrogators were waiting for him to come, because you cannot interrogate a suspect in the absence of his lawyer. And we know the accused person had lawyers. So it is fair and right and the proper thing to do to wait for the lawyers to come. He was nowhere to be found.
He said his junior doctors, lawyers, I must say, sat at the Iyoko's headquarters responding.
Yes, he is claiming that. And I am telling you that most of the time yesterday was spent waiting for him and his lawyers to come, and he never showed up. I think it was the same time that he was on TV and radio granting interviews. And I think that, you see, there should be some basic principles with which all of us work. Because I've had personal conversation with him on the day we withdrew the charges, and he made specific requests, some of which have been granted. That's normal. So to come out and make it, and in any case, haven't we seen, has he not done this before? Is it improper to withdraw charges And he's trying to lump this up together with some objections he raised, which had nothing to do with the case, as if it is because of his objections.
Amnesty International ewiase kubatan ya wasre humobro edemat memufo na ne nkrabata wo Ghana ha Amnesty International Ghana to mampani John Dramani Mahama enim secretary aso nhihye bi edamrahye bedwafie ya asa won mo ya ma wonre afie secretary aso nhihye no na wo mo gitum na baba ye mra ebeboa na abo nipaku ahodo titiriw ene emampanimfo a won mo nyini a obo won mo baye nyina wo Ghana ha na wasese bin makogu witches camp ahodo ye won mai ni ya ade ne yakayaka de no wobetumi ayi won mo afrimum bill no a won ka ho asem no anti-witchcraft accusations bill na so besi sabrei empanimfo enye no se ade a ehia na da won makoma so a wo hwe no atu ho anamon the Amnesty International kanyina ne se no obesra ban se de won mo epentem etutu mirika na bills ahodo ye bekọ Ghana mrahye bedwa nyina mu no wo ye ho adwuma na beto aban na so na wasensan ma ne beye mra no sa pepepe ena sa anti-witchcraft accusations bill yiso one more man nye enimani mu ya mampani mra bonten anasa aban mra no mepa mu nka se sa anti-witchcraft accusations bill no ade a top priority eda aban no akoma so ye sesa mrahye bedwafo ye ho adwuma ntentem na wono so de nsa hya ase a etimi aboa ama ya won mo ebre efe ne ya ade ne yakayaka de mu e wo witches camp ahodo wo Ghana ha no etimi ayi won mo nyina afrimum na maame Hana Osei ena ye acting director Emma Amnesty International Ghana won mo atena ye ya ewa ha sei ena wo kire nsem
left a significant gap affecting maternal and child health care, disease prevention and rural health services at a time when Ghana is managing outbreaks such as cholera and a record of 947 cases of mpox disease. Ghana was left with a $156 million USD funding shortfall from the US aid cut, with the health sector income reduced by 78.2 million USD. At this critical moment, silence and inaction are not options. We appeal to the government, led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to demonstrate clear political will by publicly declaring the Anti-Witchcraft Accusations Bill a national priority and certify it as urgent, considering that its passage and implementation will protect vulnerable groups, especially women's rights to life, dignity, and health. Ladies and gentlemen, protecting human rights in Ghana will depend on political will, strong institutions, and active civic engagements. Without coordination, many of these issues identified in the report would continue to.
Now, International Ghana mpanimfo pa one mafia no wonjumedie ehun amane a wotu din say State of the World Human Rights Report 2025 de hontoma ena maame Hana Osei edin semitu dwana anso ho a wasan etisi Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill aka anti-gay bill ya ehun sensem eda Ghana mrahye fie no eso en wo say bill no a won matintim no en sama hodo a wo mo atro de ahye mranum ene nhwehwe ahodo nyina ebetumi edin sunsanso abre enipa ahodo bi a wono mo ebo eho amane titiru pa ne Ghana nsemtrefo tede mpanimfo eye emra no na wono mo akeka nipa ne bi ahye mu sa wo yensemtre ni kra na obo ho dawura eno nso Ghana mra ebediwu ebia enwumaku ahodo bi no a won pese omo ya rehabilitation ede masa nkrofo no a wono mo akọ gayism num na wo hye etnetene wono mo wo san si wo mo edada mu biem si kwan pa no so wo mo nyina emra no ebetumi ache wo enti de Amnesty Ghana International for ekire ene sesesi empanimfo anya nsakraye bia wo mranum na won mo paase de a ede wo hawo ebeba
of the Human Sexual and Family Values Bill threatens to further criminalize same-sex relationships and target people with diverse identities, increasing the risk of discrimination, arrest, and violence. The bill in its current state conflicts with protections related to non-discrimination and equality before the law. I also want to emphasize that the bill in its current state criminalizes human rights organizations working on LGBTI issues, journalists reporting on LGBTI topics, individuals and institutions offering support, counseling, and safe spaces to those from the LGBTI community.
Esanse won mu yakuba tan ya wo hwese wontie ni pabibre bia fa ahodie so na wo sre humobro ya emudo ede ema won mu nti wo mama ne no wo san ede etisi ensemtre adwumakuo num won mu se eha wo papa sempepi se de obofo enam na won mu ye wo madwuma sede emra ebata won mu dwumadie achi no a wo manfo binom na tai eto hye won mu so eye won mani ya ade ne yakayaka de a ensem fata titru pa bambo na tuko no mu nipa state security na arahosama ewo mu ene se won matata nsem trefo etisa obi kura timi de nsake kansem trefo sa afidi ekura no nyina won mu de asam no kopie court kura se beye ya won mu ebedi ama tantene ne akwa ma nsem treni no na akoye boachi bidin won mu kasafa Ahmed Swale anu one Tiger AFIA eye adwuma no obi kokum no na besi sabre won mu ntimi enkyire nipa no ema tantene ne mapa enko ema Ahmed Swale ebusua ye Amnesty International Ghana eka nyina ne se ensemtrefo ehia won mo fa ahodie a obetumi dia ye adwuma fei kosisa aban ebetumi apa atentene ne mapa Ahmed Swale ya wafiri mu na nipa wokum no won bekire no de na gina mra no de Amnesty International Ghana for enka wo mano ntum e won sama.
Several journalists were attacked while covering elections, with police officers implicated in some of these incidents. Justice remained delayed for the murder case of Ahmed Hussein Swale, a stark reminder of ongoing injustice. In February, journalist associations called on the police to investigate an attack by unidentified men on a journalist reporting on an illegal mining operation. In the same month, an international NGO, Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, called for an investigation into attacks by unidentified men on 5 journalists covering elections in the Ashanti region. In April, the CPJ called on the president to deliver justice for the murder of journalist Ahmed Hussein Swale, Divela, and to reform laws criminalizing false news. More harrowing, women and girls continue to face grave violations. Female genital mutilation is still practiced in regions such as the Upper East and Upper West. To address this, we need community education, prosecutions, and economic empowerment.
NPP amanyekuo no enche wonum ebekwa abatso so na wonum atutu aba na wayi mpanimfo ahodo a ebedi amanyekuo no animu na aboa manhyehyɛ ya ahodo a wode agu akwan mu atimi agina brane sɛ de beya afi 2028 wonum betimi akɔ abatso so na wagetumi abu aman Ghana na sa enhyehyɛ no mu a na wogu so eye na wokopie mu ewo ahafoano north mansini no emu a tepa asem na mekan NPP amaya wonum ewo ho wani abre na ne nyina enesen hyehyɛ ya mpanimfo de agu akwan mu sɛ wonfa nto aba enyi mpanimfo ewo mansini no mu no eno eneguso a ekoso na enhyehyɛ mu no na won krata so sɛ bosomi ya etwa mu no ne da etoso aduonu enum ekosi aduasa baako 25th and 31st April enanka ewo sɛ wonum ehwe na vertin bi ewo ho no motimi eye nanso woni ekofa form ne nyina wante hwe obi a mo amane sɛ ebia ya twesa ade no ase asensen eno nti ebia edase ye befrɛ mo ama mo beye wa mo amane enso amaso eno na wonum ewo ho a na putupruso ya to nsade afrɛ wonum sɛ womra vertin eno na mpanimfo ene woni ya wokofa form ne bie woni abre pa sɛ ye moboa ye ho ye nye krado ene sɛ mo frɛ yen na eno no wonum ede sa ensemu yi eto nsentrofo anim sɛ ento enso yenso na enkoto national and regional executives se womram se de beya enioma papa bonum betimi de agu akwan mu na se de wo hwehwe no se abato betimi akoso na yenya akanifo mapa aboama party no atimi agina ye na party no eko akon 2028 a watimi edi nkonim sei ena woni a wobuafu na yefra wonum emputufuru so edi tuja
unya ewie de ohu ya oha e boko nyina se oha de te se so mo ba be vet na ye se de ja ye nyina ba ba ne ba be hwe adekwa ekoso na ye so mo ye vet ye ba ya omo de nipa over 20 something on that na so mo ba ye omo vet ani ewuram na ekobu so omo sa party ni guidelines omo de ba ye no e hye 25th to 30th na enya vet na atwam na ye de na ye vet ne ye koka consensus executive say omo no de omo ye omo ho beto won se de bi general secretary ye nyina ya administrator ne se ye nya no 25th to 30th nti ade ntina ne na wo so mo ye vet omo mu ni yakum omo se ye nti meche omo ne mo ye na ne mu ni omo ya omo ho beto won na omo be ene ye bi so omo sa na te dia se nomination so atwam nti na me so mi kura form e de ba so omo nya omo be dia na ubusa me say DNS wo ye party office ahafo of tepa na DNS ya ni nyina ne say yenim say MPP de amanyoko na ye osun kokoko party no ye de mra abotre na ye de chire party ye hwe ye mpanyifo a ma be de party na nim ekwo enye say no me ye party no na fe de ba ne say ni nyina ne say party chichi mu no ye fa forms April me chire polling station elections ye fa forms omo me fa forms afa omo fele ye de ni nyina e de aba ye de ba wie ye ne ye honom ye ni say party ni guidelines just say from 25th to 30th April bo so me twam no sa time no say ye vertin obi anka hwe anta if committee krompa I was say regional rep opinion atasapon Ashanti region deputy organizer I was nka obi en anini say we ni committee election committee no bibia sa nkoso ye koda sore ya na opinion to ka Kumasi aba afrefe nkofo bi so bomra no mo nya mo vetin yes ahene ha vetin a wote ya wini committee bia na vetin ni propodi na wa select some few people na vet omo ti sa wo so ye vet dia na wo so mo manko on post no fo nyina na vet omo eno na ye se entia so mo tire die entia date no from 25th to 30th April no asesa ba 26
ya de ani etre bosom treatments no emu na o my Ghana ha one mo ekenkan akwansra atena ye tore site ahodo a wontumi nka na onyi lake bosomche emfiri mu efisa ho de se ya fo fida se ye na wotwe awie ye se ye da omanfo gi wo mani ipadodo no a ne botwi ekobodompem wo ho ekwaji won mani edware sutade no mu a won mo efiri amanone abanyina so kwo ho a etimi boost tourism wo Ghana ha na woni etete ho a won mu di dwa no so eboa won mu dada adwumadie nanso ekwan ya edabosom chimansini no mu na college bosomche no ekwan ne nye apratete apansampa na wofa so a emfutsuro ya ebebo no nya asem ketwa wei ena aka na nanom enetemamufo ya wo lake bosomche na wonom de adesre eto abanyanim sa daroma wo masiesie kwan ne ma wonom se de beya lake bosomche ebekoso a ekuta na nimonyam mu na aboa Ghana ewo akwansra atena yenum na chiame hene ya wo lake bosomche abono na na ya obedu wono enani adroba fo ne temamufo a ewo lake bosomche mansiri no mu ekwan ne so nyina aka abomu na wo mo de adesra etu seye eto abanyanim se animanimu ya wono manhwa mesiesie kwan no ama wono mo de a edo how ebebre wono de di kan sika esese dwadifo ya wo lake bosomche enya ebra holiday adru no manfo ebeji wo mani no mo nya fi se obi kura ehwese de kwan ne te a ene no obetena Kumase won ha ne ho kura nkofa so ne mfuturo bi akobo no na na se enye se won matena se din won ka bibia amfa ho won mo apusu mpanimfo ache papa ne nso asam no mo ka obia emfi won tada Roma aban entie won mo sufre no me ekwan no ensiesie ema won
yesra ban se ekwan ya efiri Kumase edi ba lake no na asen a wo hwa otumfo ne yini de japade kese pa ni lake bosomche enkru amanfo statistics asisi hotel hotel abonu hotel sakese wa ese kwan ya ye de ban enye wufye mfre bi jan kwanta de banu betuto su mutesi edomu eta ha na ya kase kwa enya temkitwa esanse kwan nso nye enti yesra ban ye pani chaw o twire ni hwan Minister by rest house or paint to why I come and so far in who painting rest house now a quanya 10 years and yes reno electricity dear Nadaroma Ebuha investors are hanging over electricity now so quite and not lake no baby a friend in it as a point far pipia quina and yet and yes rabbi so want you to no tomb for Nishu Cassia Cassia, a yassin in any pushing. Or you two for one year and to for not by woman to a pan to my what should dedicate parents at the investors back. When you blow a friend with your baby or Baba Lake, you know. Ninya, a fay a sentiment, you know, do baby a dear near any lake. A fair fishing also. And also, boy, yeah, the fishing cockroom, no man for a talk, no, yes, any in our boy, not so quiet yet. So, see, I say, a true baby, Dava for talk cover any bushman not to try, then more to China Papa. And yes, Serrano, so quite a year, and yeah, for business, Sabion, for the business.
Bosom chain abono achia mehine nana ya obedu ena wote se wadina disre to abaya animno. Na droba for ya won mutu ahyen efa bosomtwe kwan ne so wo mo so kasa no se ebrei mu wo de kwan ne wo hyen efa kwan ne so a won komra ba ko mienu no na bibia sai e wo ka no ase ye sese wo kona akosiesie na wo mo kosiesie so asika twitwiri di ya won mutu ya ne nya asam ketwa enti wo mo fo de na ya obedu aka no eso se aban emesiesie kwan ne ma wonom na ebeboa droba for aboa woni adada wo fa kwan ne so ene won mo so a edidwa ewole bosomtwe no ehu
Egotosia ana ehasa electoral area nyame be kire adeja brecha krom dwumakro enyina aka ho enipa wo electoral area nyeri paketoa enso na tre sam de bru ha that tre ye de ye hyenkyena na yayire
you want me to kwanya ne se pacho kwan wa hwe de we kwan sibiti aro for ye brepa absorbers just maintenance enye easy kura ye ble wa be kai mu a overload can a funny passes can wasn't a funny part for because of maintenance in the way is be load what I say tinina kwan nti high pa you see be running the high cars monocar 26 we so car no wa hwe car no kura because car da so car mono pa this year an line say car nti kwan de esremo so me be found my na se be ya esremo me be found my e bo me damasi why esremo
okay, the Lucia no ya toss per passes tie say but to tie na the betchina say yes raban is a movie on my book some trip for near my papa no map why na ya bre esa ya ma me mo krum nya camp no ma ba oh ya bre pa and yes no say and any train ya de omumla ko so me ya bibi mai ko ya toka ho no ma dodo esa ne ke ru antemanya problems yes raban don't draw many mahama say o mepoa ye obosomtwe ye kwan so odaroma akra me so mekan
to hwe a ye mpanimfo ye trans nyina ya hwe mu abepem ne eso kwan ne da sa no abra lake ana ye tourist ye senka kwan ye na boa draw fanga krabua ye nipa na etia no na kone abadi no aboa ye no se kwan na ne nam so sa boto ade a acha na otwe na say yesa utsa kuvitem enti amoye ne ka ran ana passenger for no probable station mu go ada ye kwan nye enti yenko enti ama ya draw for ne blepa passenger for no so a efrim krase ne ba no so bre ense kwanya bi wo hode a yesre madaroma mo hwe na mo moy go so ba
Osei Apia Joseph eye assembly member Emma Abono electoral area one also edit to just after 2024 general elections no echipe na contractor no wasesa ne mfidie nyina efiri kwan no so na ade ba ko no wosre Ashanti regional minister Dr. Amwakohene say yame ya aduma May 9 mampani John Dramani Mahama bebo apro ewa Asante mantem ha wo ba won fa no mfa futu kwan so saa Emesi Lake na mampani no amfa na nikutu awisi ehunu wo haw ne amane ya Lake bosomtwe manfo enemu na wo free ha koduru nkran a ebebo no amoma ye bibia fa
emedase eni akonya odi amamen akwan de
dadwen kese pa enya asem ketewa akwa no omampen na onya watwam na dan kwa akofo ado ene hyase ode ma contractor fe no kofijo ma ne hyase omo ye ya bedu abija nkwanta na mamu no asesa enjina mesra ne se de adesrede Fashion Television Minister so Dr. Frank Amakohene so obo ade ya adoma 9th May President Bato was Santa Region. To na oba na Santa Region no so no oba Bosomtwe district entemede to say Oma President emefa kwa so no college Bosomtwe enko tourist center kese and a tourist site kese to say Lake Bosomtwe no hu say Ashanti Region ye wajapade kese say e wa ha no more tourism minister aso enti na road minister enso emrem no mutima ekwa no emfamaye every say yani yawo ebijan kwanta jaache pramso edeba kontina sebesa akọbọ kwa no nyamiani abono enyeti ase abase ekwan ni nyina enye wo satade akra na se wokọ edwabo bia obeduna hu nyina asai hom ya hu me nyina eyemfuturu ya maame mo ton niema e wokwa hu nyina emfuturu nkwa na wo mo ehome enti ankoto sere ene de sa ba mu mpanimfo sabosomtwe yansonso ye deserve better yakwan no omra mehwe na omonye emfamaye ade ba ko a areho ase fom kra ne se enam se kwan no enyenti wo akoma se na se oba bosomtwe ase ya wo fa ka na besi eputoja no fa besi jaache no fa besi kontinase ansa fa besi abesa ko bo kwan no anase abono emegadifo no temamufo no
yentoa so enipakuo bi wo my Ghana mu a enkameya yese yade yo nyina mu yeyi wonum ayipamu na yemfa yani enhwe wonum yemfa emmoa wonum ehia se yade boa wonum no yemfa mmoa wonum omo nyina ene enipaku a wonum esua adwuma emrante ne maba wonum esua adwuma se obia wo mienu a na ba akoko school na ba akosua adwuma na tensi nyina ewo de okoko school ne ho ene asika botin bia de okoko school no beba se bohia no yade bema no de wo sua adwuma ne de na yato na jeje mu ono ankasa ene bewe so apreso a ansa na unensa atumi aka de wo hwehwe na watumi kura mpo apon ne ho eno na eneyi se ukopie mu ewo doma ahinkura Ghana Hairdressers and Beauticians Association otonitia afro no chaba no eneyi wonum eye graduation ede ama woni a wosia etiyo na wonum apon won ho ede akodi wonjuma na no na opanimpa ya wono eye president abena hawa ede ma doma chapter no ede tuja no kire se ade bako a efiri se nani fiye na obeye panyini eda ako ya no wahunu pa ene se woni a wosua adwuma no yate wonum asawram ene ajeje mu yente yani enhwe womo sika wohia ene aduanedie mu wadidie mu akonya banyina yemfa ho awofo no ede wonum sika ne watension nyinada ama woma eko school ena woni a esua adwuma no de yate wonum ajeje mu nti wobesere awofo se wonhwe na animoni mu ya wonti wani emfa hwe woma wosua adwuma na wonum so dachi bi mfa so pa bi betumi afiri won so ede abre abusia
se wose ye de ye nhwe se akora no betima ye adwuma no na de ba ko ye hunu mu ne se mana besua adwuma no aye no ne awofo no be yusube owo adwuma nkura ne ba afre se omra bi e wose be kopa aduane sebe kronkitu mba na de yeso ye atubefo sa ya bemko because when the university for no pe enti ama nne no so otekakra na te se wo kan se sikasem mu no eno de bi wo ho pa akura ne bi wo ho a no mpe basabasa saafo no de masters fo no suku se be pe bibi aye ti masters fo no boa wo mo pa mba ha na ekura ma be gubi na be gubi na master ne eboa no akodua sanyina enti aye se adwuma sua na ba aye se be yi bani afiri so kakra nso nsa no adwuma de no kre
Joyce Yeboa enso eye vice president edema ekoyi na wode to aban anim eda se kire se aban free apprenticeship program ya wode aba no eyade a aba beso sa mofra ya wonum esua dwuma no abeso wasene pa na aboa ama enei wotumi esua de ekọ wanim na de bako obesere ne se masters ahodo a wonum aban de mofra na hye wonsa no so eya aban ensesie workshop ahodo enfama wonum said the one so entity ya would do a wohiano aban betumi ade afa won so na ebi aso emofra wo hye wase enso aso na ebra a Joyce yebo a ekasa no what nsem bi sei etudwa
Adeboa because aboa ma ye maya no ne ba no aboa ofa first bi sia ma no na nkuru basabasa so bi sana de ni bi aba miska na koto adwuma but sa kwanya na ba ya bibiri aboa pa ma ne maya no a ye kuwe makra bi nya menam so ama bi mu anya sa akwanya ni bia ye gusu aye wantete ma ye kire nkra nti me de me kase aboa ontonko so na onyere no no onye ne otemi se maye na aka so amede do so asere ne se yesere no yen so won sa ma ye kwanya but onye ye ye besere se yesere no what shop ho asan so dem kwa na ba je o se di ni bia ne mabe na so wi ase no e kwa ni nti ni yesere na ho anka ontwene ni bia na what shop bu organize se bia doma Ghana bono yenina yenhia na yenji adusua no mo kan se we ti that
Ghana Hairdressers and Beautician Association National President Mame Judith Marin Ahin and also Eden Sembi to Jan Oshrese emofra no obehu wonum no nani agye pa efise said ye wonum eda adesua wosua no nyina edie wo won social chire mu no eyade a nani agye ho no obo abaso enioma nkitinkiti bi na aka wonhwe na wonsiesie no yie said ye beye a that same for Papabi betumi afiri so abre wo mo ankasa ene wabusia.
With my observations, said some of them are very, very creative. They did well in braiding. And two people from chemicals, they did really well in their styling. Now we are very, very creative. That's it. And you must think it's but some baby na omo be ko ana be kasa che baby omo be hu lapses nketenkete bi na I know so omo be ko salon no makoto aso before omo certificate be ready ya be grad
Omaya de hye na nwumre kase e de be sommo e wo Fache TV so no ha ne de bibia e ba wieye Millennium Construction Adaroma ene oboye nchidom ne ya be sommo kama na adwumakuo ya won ma ba wieye bremu na wo boye nyina wo pesa wo ye japade da ache ya asase na abeto de asie na obesi udri mansion bi asiso a Millennium Construction ena mekanfo achre wo ene wo monto kese e wo Kumase Boshen na Yas Junction anasa fa numbers no a ego screen ne so no na ene empanimfo enkasa na wo mo beboa wo said ye wo haw ne tie no eye construction ho nko ade a Millennium ena mekanfo achre wo wono ena anwumre no nsian mu ya besomo e wo ye kase mu ye kase ahodo nyina wo mo eso yase ne medi e de AFIA twumu aka chire anwumre mene
Obrempong akwesi jeboa
ena ya somo ye da mo ase ene mo bre ye sore so obrafie e beto aso